Welcome back. We are in the midst of the American playoffs, right? Right?
Playoffs?
It's the Frankfurt Major.
You talking about playoffs?
I'm talking playoff action right here in America.
That didn't look. That looked like an exhibition game. That did not look like a playoff match in the major qualifiers. Let's be real.
Starting to look pretty good that the Elite Wolves are going to be going to Frankfurt. Who'd have thunk? Who'd have thunk?
Not me. Definitely not me. I was not a believer at all.
I still feel like I think they're playing a lot better than Digital Chaos from what I've seen, but DC does have AUI. He's a very experienced player.
DC have only played 2 matches, LD. How could you know?
What?
They just get forfeit wins.
They weren't not nearly as dominant in Group B as I would have liked to see, given the teams there.
Not.
So
yeah.
I was not impressed by them in the group stage, but I think given that they have AUI on the team and he's obviously a very experienced player, yeah, he's not the captain per se, but he's a good veteran voice, especially preparing for a match, that they may be able to regroup. So I'm not going to say Elite Wolves are through to the major just because they win the series, which right now they look to be heavy favorites to do so. But they are damn close. That's the closest a team from South America ever would have gotten to a major/Valve event.
I love how well they're doing, but I'm not going to be 100% confident yet. This is still the old Not Today. How many times have we seen this team do?
I was saying that in the last cast. I was like, there's been
team,
some throw games from Smash.
They've always do so good, and then they get here on LAN. You're like, this is it. This is going to be their time. Now there's no handicap, no ping. They're going to be on their real final form. And then they choke.
They get dumpstered.
Yeah, and then they get wrecked. I mean, they were here from like what? The summit, the
wanna
last
feed
summit.
I know you're feeding Twitch chat and just loading ads.
Jesus
God damn
Christ.
it, LD.
They just they get so good. They go up to the summit. They didn't perform well, and then they stayed here to boot camp at the time for their qualifier journey at TI, and that didn't go so well. But you think they'd be playing better because they don't have the ping issues and they're together as a team. So we'll see. Is the third, fourth time the charm?
But people can change. They're also more experienced than they were back then. So I would want to give them the benefit of the doubt that this team maybe has matured a little bit, also feels how close they are, and is going to take things a little more seriously. But we'll see. Anything is possible.
Well, they're going to open up with a Queen of Pain on the side of Unknown. What are Elite Wolves going to get here? Tusk still available? Has the meta changed within the last 12 hours? Shadow Fiend's still good, I guess.
Well, if it was even possible, the North American teams managed to get even greedier. That's a new thing.
Greedier than
Yesterday.
the Triple Midas Battle Fury Radiance?
That's actually about it.
Except every game instead of like as an aberration. And I like this from Elite Wolves. They banned the Doom and the Alk first phase, basically saying you will not beat us unless you get way too much gold / a really broken hero in Doom. So we're just going to deny you that, and we're just going to outplay you.
Whoa, Smash Ember Spirit. That's a signature. The triple rash.
I like the trail off at the end there. Whoa, Smash Ember Spirit. That's a great hero.
That's a great hero.
I like it.
I mean, we've seen it a lot. Smash, I would say, it's one of the best in America at sporting it. Night Stalker, the response here from Unknown. You get that map control. And
Night Stalker's been impressive, I think, in the qualifiers.
Oh.
In all regions. Like, he's been getting played just a ton. The builds are kind of funny. It's like Midas Axe and then Gem. Sometimes you get like an urn, but I don't know.
I really like the Midas Night Stalker. Like
it seems like a lot of it is that he goes extremely well with Ember because when he gets the Axe, he can just walk around and then Ember's just BOTs in and they just kill someone.
Yeah, he's good with Ember. He's also great with Tiny IO. We saw that earlier today or last night, I guess, in the SEA qualifier tie-break matches. So Night Stalker is definitely a decent hero. Gives them some lockdown versus Ember. Not the best lockdown in the late game, but through the early to mid stages. Also a decent roaming hero. And it kind of hides your plans. This can be a support. It can be an offlaner, though. Not that many teams have really opted to use him that way. So.
Is Smash playing Ember in the safe lane, you think? Or is Van going to take a Shadow Fiend to the safe lane?
I think it's probably a Van Ember. Van's very individually skilled. Smash gets all the attention just because of his personal fan base, and he's been around longer. But
he's me Pastor.
Yeah, he is the Pastor. But to me, Van's individual play has probably been outshining Smash's as of late by a decent margin. He's been close to flawless.
He farms so efficiently, and it seems like I used to think that Van can only play like Slark, but he's proving me wrong.
Exactly, just Slark.
Yeah, I mean, well, it seems like they would lose unless he played Slark, and does not seem to be the case anymore.
He's good. He's got 7k MMR, guys.
Oh, this is a combo you do not want to be giving away. Ember,
Darkseer, Ember, and Shadow.
We saw what happened when Cloud9 had this. A lot of teams have been very successful with it. Generally, if an Ember gets picked, Darkseer gets banned, but they opted to ban the Brood. Very understandable for Unknown. And then Wyvern.
Wyvern I can still understand, but I think the Darkseer ban would have made more sense. Darkseer, there's been a couple games, especially with Ember, where he doesn't even have to like take over the game in off lane. He just has to get like decent levels to have levels in vacuum by the time the Ember has Battle Fury, and then you just kill people.
Yeah. As long as he doesn't continuously
as
chain
long as
feed
he
with
just
Ion
chain feed,
with Ion Shell, he's going to do a lot of work. And they get a squishy support. Not reliable lockdown versus Ember is a decent laning support and can help zone the Darkseer, but on his own is not going to be able to keep him out of the lane. And so I think now for Elite Wolves, we likely see some sort of tanky, like bruiser type support. Maybe they save it for the last pick, but something that can go help the Darkseer roam a bit, potentially even pressure Queen of Pain, and then a strong laning support to secure the Ember safe lane farm. So should just be two pretty straightforward support picks from here.
So where do Unknown put their priorities in the early game here? Which of these do you need to shut down? Do you shut down the Shadow Fiend so you can give your mid laner more priority in the Queen of Pain? Do you take care of Ember Spirit so he doesn't become a problem throughout the later game? Shut down the Darkseer?
I think you shut down the SF because he's on Dire and he's going to have a lot less stacks.
It's Quap versus SF. That's a very winnable matchup for Quap. We saw last game.
With Nightstalker. I'm
calling him Swagmaster, the mid player for Unknown. Dakota, by the way, just so you don't get confused.
Is that the bracket guy?
Yeah, because I don't... Teal. He's the guy...
Did anyone confirm if that's Kotaro Hayama? I think it's him.
Is it? Okay.
I mean, he plays Kotaro Heroes.
Okay, he's Kotaro. All right, I'll call him by his real name then. But anyway.
Come on, that real name is a badass name. I am Kotaro Hayama. Get ready to get your ass beat.
Well, why does he use it then? If it's so badass, why is he using bracket?
Bracket, yeah.
You know these players, dude.
Dark Konoha.
Oh, he was also on the team, but that was not
Kotaro.
So Kotaro might be orange?
So is the orange player.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
So anyway, we'll. I mean, if you use the names, I'll pick up on it eventually.
Dark
but
Konoha.
I probably won't. I'm
just say some random stuff that sounds
Kahlua.
Japanese. So to your point, who do you focus on? Queen of Pain should beat the Shadow Fiend mid, especially if she gets a little help from the Nightstalker controlling runes. So I don't think you really need just like lane support on the Shadow Fiend. Maybe they look to gank him when it hits nighttime. Ember, to me, is the hero that you really want to shut down because the mid game for Elite Wolves, look at their draft. They have no one else to initiate, no one to start fights. Like, you're not going to run at someone with an Ion Shell in the mid game, and that's your team fight. Shadow Fiend's not going to initiate. Nobody goes Yule's build. So it's exactly one hero, Ember Spirit, that will control the mid game for Elite Wolves right now, and that's the hero that you want to shut down. Problem for me is I don't really know that they can. We'll see what they go for. Maybe if the Nightstalker does a lot of support on the top lane for Clockwork, but if you don't shut down Ember, he gets fast BOTs, he goes around with Ion Shell, he's just going to get out of control.
And if Nightstalker's helping him out there, probably not going to see a greedy Nightstalker this game. I wouldn't dream on a Midas build-up if he's kind of stuck helping everyone else out and shutting down this Ember Spirit.
It really does seem like there's like, I mean, there's two builds, I guess. It's either Boots Midas Ags or like Boots Earn Ags. Sometimes they get the Earn.
Oh, for the Nightstalker?
Yeah, but
to me it's actually a core item on him because
the Ags.
Well, obviously Ags.
Oh, no, Midas. What are you talking about?
It's like some boots are
the Midas.
Right here.
I think the Midas is
okay.
core Nightstalker because he has really good stats. He doesn't have a huge need for mana, so it's not like he needs, like, say, a drums or like the Urn. He doesn't even need the Urn. It's just really nice on him because he's ganking so often, and he does benefit a bit from the stats and mana regen. But it's like, what else are you gonna get on a Nightstalker after that? A Force Staff, a Glimmer Cape? No, like there's nothing that's really that good. So you just go for a Midas.
We made the call for a tanky support, and I was thinking Ogre, when Unknown do ban it, which I think is a great ban.
Yeah.
They opt to go for the Rubik instead, so pretty frail team.
It's really good against Clockwork in the laning stage.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But Unknown are going to pull out the Pocket Storm pick. Storm.
Kotaro has played this once before, and I was not impressed by it. He did a safe lane Storm, and I was like, ooh.
I don't know, man.
It's a great Storm game, though. They have really no control for him if he has a good start.
Yes. But you're right, they don't have much to stop him at all.
He's a stronger laning carry that can also do well against Darkseer because you have pretty high armor. You can clear out the creeps very quickly with Remnant. Now the nerfs may hurt him a bit here, so he'll need a little help early. But once Storm gets past the early to mid game, he's basically the same hero. The only thing that really got nerfed is his early to mid game with the mana costs as well as on the ult as well as the remnants. So I think Storm could be a game winning pick here, but it just comes down to the laning stage tree. How well is Unknown going to do early on?
I guess we'll have to wait and see there, LD. Right now, though, it's Elite Wolves. One game away from moving on into that next round where they will await their opponent. The next series, which is Digital Chaos going against Cloud9. Unknown need this game to stay alive and take it to Game 3. These teams are now only one step away from securing their trip to Frankfurt.
Does anybody want to bet on Unknown? Does anyone believe they can force the Game 3?
No.
Nope.
No. Not really, to be honest with you.
Feeling pretty confident with
I
Elite
can't bet on
Wolves.
them either.
Elite Wolves have played so well through this whole qualifier.
What the hell? Is that the Courier? Oh, it came all the way down for Darkseer. All right, I see. He went down early, dropped the ward.
Got a mango, most importantly.
Normal spot, but he did the double ward, so unless they have 2 sentries and they get him perfectly, this camp is going to be blocked on the bottom. Looks like it will be. So
I will say I really like Unknown's laning setup here, though. Storm should do pretty well against Darkseer. They know they need to put pressure on Ember, and they're going to try to. So I like the mentality and the thinking, but we'll have to see how strong is this tri lane. It's going to be Witch Doctor, Clock, and then I guess the Night Stalker roaming. Against a full-on tri lane, I don't think they can shut him down. But maybe can find a support off near the jungle and punish that.
The battle begins.
I'm still skeptical of the Storm pick. I mean, have you played Storm since the nerf?
No.
It's like pretty noticeable.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I hear too.
It's definitely pretty noticeable.
I've seen a couple late game Storms. Like if you get to the late game, he's the exact same hero. But
it really weakens. Like, you know, I feel like we used to see, especially with players like Resolution and Sumail, in the mid game, they'd have those really long initiations. It's a lot harder to do those now that the ultimate costs more.
yeah, and it's like he's such a snowball hero, right?
Yeah,
Casual.
so
He can't taunt because he's Queen of Pain. So instead, he just drops his Null Talisman. What is wrong with
I
this?
love South American Dota.
What is his name again, Dakota? His proper name?
Dark
middle?
Kiona?
Yeah.
Dark Hanoa.
This guy, man.
I am the Dark Hanoa.
This guy.
Is this the same guy that spams SF, the ulti or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
He is the Dark
He's
Hanoa.
just dropping his Null Talisman. He can't use taunt, so, well, you figured out a new way to taunt Smash.
Maybe it's for last hitting. You don't know that. Maybe
He wasn't auto-attacking. He's just dropping it in between auto-attacks for no reason.
Maybe he's Butterfingers or something.
Or maybe... Alright, so Queen of Pain versus Shadow Fiend mid lane. Smash got a decent block, so Co-op didn't have the creep advantage early on. Is up to a slight lead. Needs to dominate this matchup, though.
This matchup's kind of weird because you kind of just sit there until you're like level 5. Because you can't really do anything, especially with this double point and Shadow Strike. You can't really do anything until your Scream's like mostly maxed out.
Stinger. It's a bit of damage. We'll be able to surge away, but is feeling a little bit of that harassment from the good doctor.
I really just get tunnel vision whenever I cast this team. I just can't help but
It's like punching a car
it's like
accident.
driving by a car wreck. Not to say it's always bad, but I just can't take my eyes away
Can't
from it.
stop looking at it.
All right, let's try to look at the other lanes at the very least. Elite Wolves running the defensive tri-lane. They are going for some stacked Dota for Smash. Not being contested whatsoever. You get the big camp go nice and loaded up already. And the most important thing for me is Van is not being pressured. This is an Ember Spirit with a Darkseer. Darkseer getting his levels so far. You leave him alone, it gets to 8 minutes.
They're going to jump Smash
Supports
mid
are
lane.
just going to start feeding.
They have both Z-Talk and Mr. Hoshi hanging around Smash. It's a triangle effect here. Oh, was he pinged out?
Oh god, this is awkward. Oh.
Looks like they don't like this situation. And Mystico also spots out Mr. Batman here.
Night Stalker hasn't skilled yet.
Yeah, looks like this attempt will be futile.
What is wrong with this guy? He just dropped the null like up by the tower.
I'm going to left.
If he loses it, like that's gonna be in like
Look at this.
a shacked and a fool.
This is so funny.
This is
can't be a
unbelievable.
real thing. Like they just lost game 1 and he's just BMing Smash. Like,
He's tanking the tower. Is he going to drop his Null Tally now to taunt Smash? Yeah, I can take tower shots too. No problem. And now he's not dropping it when he's bottling, where it actually would help him. Please.
Lordy.
Just
Teal,
trying to get
please.
inside Smash's head.
that a legit strategy?
Oh, Masoku.
Oh, this could be big, but winding around the trees. Van does have the flame guard going. Oh, looks like it wears off now, and Masoku trapped in the cogs, but not too much follow-up for this one, unfortunately, as Van chases forward. Thinking about a Night Stalker grab, has the chains available, and gets the catapult.
Catapult!
That change, man,
OP.
that hurts.
Ice frog.
Ice frog, please. Little man fight erupting mid, and gotta say, Quap doing what she should, out CSing the Shadow Fiend pretty substantially, but it really doesn't matter when there's this amount of stacking coming out. Also a double stack over at the other big camp.
Yep. All that work.
If I remember correctly, Greg, me and you casted Masoku playing AA, and that guy could not buy a bucket.
I've seen a lot of AAs.
He was missing
AAs
a lot
in like
of
every single game, but I definitely believe you. That was a
Are
while
you saying
ago
he's
at
no
this point.
Theban on the edge?
He's no Theban. Dude, yesterday, Theban was actually just
he was like a sharpshooter.
incredible.
You know?
There's no setup. He just kept ice blasting 3 heroes.
It was, you know, like it felt like one of those like crazy trick shot YouTube videos when Steve was playing. Like, he bounces it like off of the table. You know, someone like sticks their finger out and it like flicks it the other way, and then the fan's blowing and just slightly adjust the trajectory.
Calculated.
And then so like a little springboard pops up and catapults it, and then it lands directly in the cup where it's supposed to go. It was quite a performance from Teven.
This is the second time Z-Talk is floating around this
Goldberg
mid lane,
machine,
and they're not going to
as
be able to
K-Pop's
get
saying.
anything out of it, though.
Yeah, the Night Stalker's presence has really not been
He's
felt
done
yet.
nothing.
Only level 2. He has not slowed down the Ember. He has not really done a whole lot to pressure Smash. Like, Smash
going to
is...
now, though.
well,
He's
maybe
going.
now he is. This could be the timing. Blinking. Doesn't even need to blink, but Smash does get off the raise. That's what you're looking for from your
Quap
Night
still
Stalker.
almost died. Quap is going to pay for
Drop
this.
the null on his dead body
She's got
now.
3 Shadow
This
Strike.
can't be the build against SF.
Well, hey, she got the kill. But this may be punished in the mid game. We'll have to see.
Mystico's in trouble a little bit here. It's nighttime. Z-Talk scratches his back, but will not pursue. As he gets closer to the lane in his company of friends. How's bottom been? I feel like we've been neglecting this lane down here quite a bit. Stinger at 14-0 CS. Going against the Storm, who's 29-7, about to get to his level 6. So Storm has had the ideal lane set up. Do you think that he should be able to segue nicely here for Unknown into that mid game?
It's all going to come down to execution. They don't have the best lockdown for a Storm, but especially with the nerfs, mana can be an issue. If you overextend, you're not getting out. So
Yeah, I
let's
think-
wait. Let's reserve our judgment for when he actually starts moving.
I'm just imagining that he initiates and runs out of mana because of the
And then
nerf,
Ember
and
jumps
then
you, it gets-
Ember jumps you, or Rubik just like lifts you and you just die.
They're also really good at chasing. They have Ice Blast to hunt down a fleeing hero. They also have the Surge as well as Ember's general mobility. So it really could go either way, and it's much more going to come down to the rest of the team and their movements.
Oh, you are dead. Mystico's going to be going down. As
A little
everyone bottles
aggression here
up.
from Unknown. It's their turn to take the fight to the Wolves. This is something fresh.
Stinger's here now, and they say, I don't want anything to do with this. Remnant on forward. Comes in. Van looking to get the catch. Clockwork pops down the cogs. They isolate Stinger here. Eats a Void. Shadow Strike. He's dead. That is a Darkseer rotation from the bottom lane, and he will be losing his life. Ember's going to have to hightail it out of there. That's a decent win right there for Unknown as they pull ahead now 3-0.
What level is the Darkseer?
Level 5.
Why did he come to that fight?
I think he thought they were going to dive further, but hey, triple Shadow Strike build appears to be working.
This build good.
Hey, it's working. He's 2-0-1.
This is my biggest problem with it. When you walk up to use Shadow Strike on SF, you just get double raised every time.
Io trapped on top lane is going to be going down as they rotate in the Storm. They are punishing Smash. They trade a Clockwork for it, and Smash gets the kill first on the Quap. Swagmaster punished. Had the blink out, but opted to stick around.
Healthy already ditched on his real name once he started dropping
Well,
his null
Dakota's not
talisman.
using it constantly. I need it like hammered into my brain.
Dark Kanoa.
Dark Kanoa.
Kanoa.
I'm trying. Yeah, he could have easily blinked out and lived there, but Smash making the plays. So they're shutting down Smash. Van still... they're somewhat shutting him down.
Mystico's been spotted doing stacks. Talks like, get the hell out of here. There's no stacks for him to spot out, but definitely is a bit nerving as a support. Just trying to make that offshore count for your cores to farm up with, and well, that plan is going to have to wait a bit.
They're converging on Smash. Gank number 3. Void comes in. Jumping forward. The Storm's going to commit, and they will get yet another kill. 3 in a row.
Shadow Fiend is
Smash getting punished.
destroyed.
I mean, you made the call in the draft that they should be putting more emphasis on shutting down this Ember, but it's clear that they want to go on to Smash.
They went with the Gerg train on the SF.
The Gerg train.
Yeah.
How many people are on that train, Greg?
I mean, at least the players on Unknown.
Okay.
So that's
I'm on the Elite Wolves train. I think my train's... Oh, it's actually not looking so good right now. Misko getting caught out mid lane. He's going to go down again. Unknown just playing chaotic dive Dota.
They're just so aggressive.
Yeah, actually,
They got to
Stinger
be
may actually drop
aggressive.
here. He's in a lot of
Storm.
trouble.
There's no way he's going to kill him. Really?
He
He's
might.
Die? He's actually might be dead.
He's got stick.
He's dead. Oh my god.
Bam! Just enough, even with the nerf.
Just using the limitations.
That was actually
just, like,
really well executed.
Yeah.
If he like miss-zapped at all there, he would have not gotten that kill.
And, well, we basically said if Storm has a good laning stage, then it's a really good Storm game. And he's having an excellent laning stage
oh
now.
my goodness, they are on Smash again.
Kill number 4?
A rocket comes in. Z-Talk clock suddenly here from the balcony. Oh, where the hell he come from? He's here now.
That was
Just want to
pretty-
be included in the gank.
He's like, hi, I was in another game, but I'm here.
All right. Just a matter of time before Quap starts dropping her Orchid in the middle of team fights. Never go full Swindle Melons, though.
Oh god.
They are on the move here, Van, but they're not going around with the Ion Shell together. It's just an Ember on his own. He also doesn't have Flame Guard up, and they're really committing for this one. They're going to lose Misko, most likely. Trying to retreat. Flame Guard still cooling down. Has the Remnants available. Storm also low on mana, but 3 heroes are streaming in bottom lane. About to be scouted out. Van on the run. Doesn't have a teleport
he's
scroll
so
even.
dead.
Flame Guard jumps directly on top of the Clockwork. Gets the 2-hero chains. Tries desperately to finish off the Storm. They let him go for now and will be kept alive in the end. The sacrificial play of the Rubik. Ends up being a 1-for-1 support trade so far. But Ryo
really nice play
has
by
hookshot relatively soon. Van tanking an Urn charge. Not enough to kill him off.
That was a really nice play
Actually
by Stinger.
surprised he got out of that.
I'm very surprised he got out of that. The Clockwork blocked and made it a lot harder for them to pursue him, and as a result, he makes it out just barely.
And, well, you know what you do after you have like 5 successful ganks? You buy more smoke.
You gank more.
Yeah. This is clearly working, and for E-Wolves, their supports are just so vulnerable. Look at Misko's HP, level 4 Rubik. Ancient Apparition also obviously food if he gets caught. They're just playing the lineup well. Unknown really exploiting the Elite Wolves heroes that are on their own.
Here comes finally a move from Elite Wolves. They're smoked.
Oh,
They're looking to go to mid lane, but they're going into 4.
God.
So this could be chaotic here. Ice Blast is going to be a whiff, and now Sonic Wave to fly, and they are going to be able to take down the Witch Doctor here.
Oh, they almost got him with the screen.
Requiem on the corner going to be canceled.
They have Hook.
Here comes Storm. They're going to make it go into Smash here. Wall's going to be dropped. He's going to go for the Requiem now. Still not going to be happening. He goes down.
And Stainer in danger as well, looking for the angle for the hook shot, the long-range connection. They're a bit low to go in. No, he's going for it. Found Masoku under the tower. Huge dives from Unknown, who are looking to make a name for themselves here, putting a beating out early. 12-4, a 4K gold lead, 3K experience lead. We were ready to just put them 6 feet under after game 1, but they obviously had a little team meeting and pulled everything together here for game 2.
I really don't understand why the Darkseer's coming to these fights, because he came to that one, he put the wall down, but he only has 1 point vacuum, and he actually didn't even use vacuum over the course of the whole fight because he couldn't even get someone through the wall.
Well, the whole draft, you're supposed to be fighting with the Ember Ion Shell, but we haven't seen it once until now. Let's see how well it works. Storm jumping forward, does get the tower, balls out, and he looks like he's got just the distance that he needs to live. The rune's going to spawn soon. Oh, another surge. And that is the first overextension. Could be the beginning of many, just because of the mobility. But the good news for Unknown is they forced Ember to go into Treads. He did not want to go Treads. He had like 1,300 gold, was trying to save for BOTs. Van dies enough, and he finally says, you know what, I just need to tank up. So this really undermines a lot of the draft to me.
I'm really surprised that he gave on that, because he has 4 kills and no deaths. I feel like he could have just
tough it out.
Yeah, just tough it out and get the bots. It's so much better, I think.
It's not even that he hasn't died yet, right? But he's just spent so much time running away and like, oh, I can't quite go in because I'm a little too squishy here. So, yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. It means that they don't have that super mobile initiator where the Ice Blast follow-up can almost always net you a kill if you find the right hero.
It feels to me like Elite Wolves are not going to win this game by actually participating in these fights, you know? I feel like he should just gotten BOTs and just concentrate on farming.
It's nighttime now. Unknown prowling. So let's talk items, guys. Let's do shopping.
Well, they paused for us to talk about items.
They're going for double Orchid. This is a great Orchid game. Like, look how
This is a really good Orchid.
nobody's getting anything that's going to remove Orchid in the near future. Smash
Smash will eventually get a BKB, but
is dirt poor.
yeah, but he's gotten ganked so many times. He only has
Darkseer could
17
get
souls.
Guardian Greaves.
Also, dirt poor. He still doesn't have boots. He's trying to rush the mech. Let's not get too ambitious here, Dakota.
You didn't
You're
say
right.
by
Eventually they
what
have
time.
solutions, but it's like the window, right? The window is going to be. It might be 8 minutes.
It's Unknown recognizing their teams where it peaks and then itemizing that way. They know that they can take these fights earlier. They're winning these fights earlier, and then now they're preparing to just not allow Elite Wolves to get to a point when they can peak.
Can you imagine if Unknown come back and win Game 3 as well? What a story that would be. After Elite Wolves 2-0 Cloud9 start to look like maybe the best team in the America qualifier.
NA Dota.
These qualifiers have just been crazy in general across all regions.
Storm is flirting with the idea of going on this Darkseer, but
No
Darkseer's
dire
just
vision
trying
of
to
this.
entice. Yeah, he's trying to entice him to stay. And they're going to make their move on his Stinger with the help of Z-Talk from behind. They're going to get the kill, but will they be punished for it? Mystico's going to get the lift. Here's Ember. Slide of Fist on through. Here comes an Ice Blast. It's going to connect beautifully, but they've already taken down
Storm's gonna die.
Mystico. They're going to turn back and Storm.
Ember?
Avoid the damage here. They are going to be popping what looks like the Witch Doctor. And, whoa, Sonic Wave to fly out. They're going to quickly take out the Ember. That makes it big for Unknown.
Another fight where Ember doesn't have Ion Shell on him. He's had Ion Shell on him once the entire game. That's just not how the strategy is supposed
This
to work.
is like a completely different Elite Wolves team. They're playing much worse.
Yeah, I'm not sure how comfortable they are with this draft. I don't know if they've actually run it recently, but anyway, Smash gonna die again. His Ban looks to counterplay this.
There we
Swagmaster, blink in 1 second. He's gonna blink into the Ice Blast and runs right through. He screams the creeps.
Yeah, like he screams the creeps on the way by.
Just put the shades on it now.
Classic.
If Cyborg Matt's in the chat, just give this guy a pair of swag shades,
Oh man,
please. He's like an action hero.
Links mid, screams again, farms. All right, time to heal.
This is amazing.
Some confidence right there.
This might be the cockiest player that the world of Dota has ever seen.
It's definitely up there.
Was he doing stuff in the other game as well?
Taunting.
He literally, he was spamming his Shadow Fiend taunt when it actively undermined his efficiency. Like, they're trying to Roche. He, like, auto-attack, stop to taunt, auto-attack again, stop to taunt, auto-attack again. Fake casting Requiem, like, in the middle of team fights, just for the hell of it. He's a cocky player. It's working, though. 7-1 and 5. The triple Shadow Strike build paying off. They've got double Orchid up now. They lead 16-8. Key things for me at this point for Unknown are getting good deep wards. Maybe a gem for the Night Stalker once he has the Ags up, and then you just keep on ganking.
Yeah.
Do not let Wolves farm. Do not let them play the catch-up game.
Now that they have this double Orchid, that last fight obviously was tilted in favor of Elite Wolves, but now that they have double Orchid, I think it should be pretty easy for them to execute a couple ganks, but they have to wait for Elite Wolves to split up.
Elite Wolves are smoked up, though. They seem a bit confused. Maybe
Why is
just
there no
hoping that
Ion
they're
Shell on
gonna-
Ember? Like, he should always have an Ion Shell up. This is really bothering me.
They can't do it now. I'd be like, why is he casting Ion Shell
all
on
right.
nobody?
He heard me.
He casted it, but then they're like, that's
He's gonna
weird.
jump.
Oh, Ice Blast? Doesn't matter. They're going to get the kill. Witch Doctor goes down. A lot of scheming there just for a nice little support pick. Nothing
Yeah, they
too
were
elaborate.
hoping for a core.
Yeah.
They just, like, how do you kill the Storm? You have to burst him during lift. That's their only
Yeah,
lockdown.
lift and A ulti. That's kind of their only option.
Quap, you can at least, if you chain her, then she can't blink out, but she's working towards a BKB fairly rapidly, so once these two get BKBs, the only way they die is to a perfect chain of initiation during a Rubik lift. Otherwise, they just BKB, jump out, or even turn the fight against you. It's going to be a scary window facing the Wolves soon, and at the same time, I don't know if they can apply pressure right now. Shadow Fiend doesn't have his BKB. He's working
Yeah,
towards
I
it.
think
Darkseer just got mech, and it's quite late.
The Shadow Fiend being gimped is really hurting them because they can't push towers at all. Normally, the Shadow Fiend can, you know, play with like the Rubik, the AA, and Darkseer, and then push the towers while the Ember is farming more, and then Ember can BOT in. But they can't do like the normal strat that you normally do with
Deny it.
with these heroes.
Deny that tower.
Oh, they're
Definitely.
baiting it. They have Glyph. This could be really ugly with the double Orchid. I don't think Wolves even want to push it right now. They just want to get their level 6 on the Rubik. 18 minutes almost into the game, and Misko's still not level 6.
Sad life.
Only a 5k gold and 4k experience lead. But it just feels tempo and map control-wise a lot worse than that right now.
Yeah, I mean, part of it is just that the Quap is so farmed that it feels like she can just solo kill up what is like even 1v2. She's, I don't know.
This tempo is good for Wolves, though. If it's nice and slow, they're farming their own jungle. And for Unknown, they're waiting for the next nighttime. As soon as it hits the next night, or they see an opportunity to just pop Darkness, they're going to get right back on the offensive.
I definitely agree.
Well, they have Darkness, so I guess they decide this is the moment to deploy it. I see Van.
I think that this next series of ganks could easily determine the game for Unknown, because if they gank again and have a fight like the last couple where they don't do very well, Elite Wolves are going to be back in the game.
Oh, they're going to see Van. Smoke is popped.
Just
Darkness comes out. Are they going to be able to stop him, though? There's a coconut. There's a death ward. There's a silence. There's a bump. There's a kill. Ember goes down. Elite Wolves need something. Follow-up is going to be the hook shot coming out from Rio. Stinger drops a wall that they're going to have to pass through. He's going to get solidified from the cold feet. Ice Blast will fall out. Sonic Wave at the same moment comes out from Mr. Dark Kanoa, and, well, Stinger is going to eventually go down, it looks like, to the Z-Talk and Hoshi support duo. It's a 3-for-1 trade right now.
Look at this. This is a pub stomp. Storm's not even there. He's got a double damager, and he's not even at the fight. Still a 3-for-1. They just have no answer for the aggression.
Yeah. Like, when Unknown takes the fights on their terms, it's just a stomp.
This is brutal. I can't at this point. I can't even like fault anything Elite Wolves are doing, because this stage of the game is where you've lost the laning stage really badly to a Storm and Quap. You've no counterplay on them. I think there were a lot of things they could have done differently around like the 5 to 12 minute mark or so. And when Ember is ganking, it should always be with the Darkseer, or at least with an Ion Shell on him before he TPs. Going back for Treads, Treads is definitely a fine item on Ember, but I feel with this draft, you really want BOT, so you can take full advantage of the Ice Blast and the Ion Shell. And, I mean, beyond that, give credit to Unknown. The Night Stalker rotations mid were excellent. E-Wolves did not really respect the ganks, and they just kept on coming for the Shadow Fiend buffet. What did he die, like 3-4 times in the mid lane?
So many times. Now he does have a BKB, but
there's definitely still comeback potential. Like, to me, if Wolves get a really good combo, Requiem into Vacuum Wall with an Ice Blast, they can take a fight, but it's going to be Unknown making mistakes that allow that to happen, because they have no ability to set up the Vacuum Requiem. You can always just jump away on any of these cores otherwise. But if they overextend into it, then Wolves might be able to win a fight.
did Darkseer ever actually finish his mech? He did, okay. That's what I thought.
Problem is, it seems like so much of it is going for Unknown right now. Their Night Stalker is going to have Agnum soon. And
Didn't go for the Midas, though. I'm a little surprised, especially with the kind of lead they had.
Darkseer is still pretty underfarmed, all things considered.
Yeah, he's poverty Darkseer.
Yeah.
He's barely even with the 4-position Night Stalker.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, maybe I guess he hasn't really had a lot of space, because Smash and Ember have been trying to prioritize farming quite a bit. Look at all the sentries in the Dire jungle. If they were making sure there were no wards anywhere.
Yeah, because they have to, though, right?
Yeah, they have to.
They know what we were talking about. If they have a ward up, Storm and Quap can just go apeshit.
Manhandle you, yeah. Not let you farm at all.
And this is the way that E-Wolves can win a fight, if they bait Unknown onto their tower. So I do like the setup. Unfortunately, Rocket scouts pretty much everything. So
who's going to pull away first, though? Oh, no one.
That Quap is a
Jump
BKB.
in from Mystico. Ice Blast pull up. Quap's going to BKB and walk out. Now they're going to jump on the Smash here. Smash. Going to unleash the Requiem, though. Not going to be biggest amount of damage. Storm on pursuit, looking to go for Van. That's a big target there, and he's going to bring him down. And Elite Wolves don't like this. They got to turn the hell out of here and run away. They lose 2, and they're going to have to sack this tower. Unknown will come up with another big fight.
They don't have enough lockdown. Like, if they have a Hex on Darkseer, I mean, LOL.
Hex on
Darkseer at 21 minutes with this game, not happening. But how else do they... That was almost the ideal initiation. If it was a higher level lift, maybe they could have gotten the kill there, but I don't... Even then.
Also, another team that drafts Darkseer without any really good follow-up for Vacuum, because especially when the Vacuum's low level like this, you have to really kill those heroes. They do manage to vacuum into the wall, but they don't have a good stun really to follow it up. I guess you could like...
Can't help but wonder, you know, what if they changed out that... I hate being those kind of things where you're like, well, what if they changed out the pick entirely? But they had that last pick Rubik, and we, you know, recognize that Rubik's very good against the Clockwork, but what if they got something like a Disruptor instead for the control and very good with a vacuum combo?
I don't even think this was like a great Rubik game. I mean, it's like, it's okay, but I think unless, I don't know, Rubik is pretty situational. Like, You have to have really good spells to steal, otherwise he.
Well,
really
what was
lacks
left?
in
Because
impact.
I know Tusk was banned. Ogre was the last ban, which I thought was what they wanted. Oh, hold that thought. Mid lane.
Ogre would have been much better in this draft than Rubik.
He was banned though, yeah. Oh, they're gonna get Mystico down. This still looks like another good fight for Unknown.
Oh, good
Decent
Ice
Ice Blast, but it's probably still only level 1, right? Yeah.
Lucky to get out. The Orchid there was just a split second from getting the Ember kill.
No. I just
I really, when I going to the last pick, I really thought they would go for Ogre. Then it got banned. I'm just wondering, was there any other like up in your face bruiser melee hero? Because generally, where the Darkseer picks have been owning when they go offlane is when you have a Darkseer +1. There was like the Darkseer Bounty Hunter was the QT 6.84 duo, which had mixed results. But what's been really effective in this patch is like your Darkseer Tusk or Darkseer Ogre.
What about like Spirit Breaker?
Or Spirit Breaker.
banned?
he was banned, I think. What
He
about
was banned
Ja-
as well.
What about
He was banned.
Jakiro? Jakiro, you get your vacuum combo potential. He can be pretty tanky.
Yeah.
And he has additional lockdown, which is clearly necessary.
I would have ideally, I think Ogre or Spirit Breaker would have been the best possible pick. With both of them banned, Jakiro could have been decent. It's still, it doesn't give you great lockdown versus Unknown, but like the whole idea of the Darkseer generally is he puts a ton of pressure on the safe
Ice
lane.
Path would have been pretty savage with Darkseer.
Ooh, they might get Z-Talk here. Looks like they will.
Yeah, he's dead.
So Elite Wolves though have to commit 5 to get the one little Night Stalker.
And they smoked for that, right?
I believe so.
They've got one still in the AA, one in the inventory or in the shop.
Yeah.
Game is not
If
getting
the
out
game
of control.
continues at this pace, Elite Wolves can come back.
Yeah,
Like,
Unknown are
Unknown,
not
they're-
taking big objectives
They also,
right now.
yeah, I mean, they don't have a great Roche team. They don't really have any minus armor. That definitely works in the favor of E-Wolves because they can Roche if they win this
Yeah,
team
this
fight.
is when they Unknown would need to keep going.
Yeah.
They need to
Well,
keep
the good
getting
news
kills
is that
right
the
now.
Quap now has a BKB.
Yeah, this is
and
them- their
this one
time to
has a
peak.
Bloodstone. So those are two really big items for their core heroes that have been playing aggressive all game. And I don't know. It seems like that they should still be able to win this game pretty easily if they just continue
They have
ganking.
great high ground defense as well. So I would not. I would
true.
definitely wouldn't count them out. Great start for Unknown,
Yeah, that's true.
but finishing the game will not be easy. Night Stalker not going for a Midas, so he's not really gonna. He's not gonna be able to get like an AC or anything that will, or Vlad's that will aid the push.
Yeah, I mean, we keep coming back to this, but the Ember is just so under farm, and he can't really get around the map without those bots.
I think with this draft, BOTs is
It was just mandatory,
Yeah.
and I have no faith that he's gonna farm his way back into this game because he's just wandering around and like occasionally farming jungle camps and getting some creeps mid. He's not really pushing out any of the side lanes.
And with so few towers up, like just he's pedestrian Ember.
Yeah,
he's
he actually just walks around.
He's getting a nice workout, you know, but that's about it.
It's a tough game to be an Ember.
But if Unknown don't do much here, they're
Yeah,
just
if,
giving
I mean,
time
if
for
the
Elite
game
Wolves to farm
continues,
up.
if Elite Wolves can farm for another 5 minutes without anything too bad happening,
They're starting to kind of look for maybe
is
opportunities. but
SF
they're not,
getting closer to another item? It looks like he is.
I mean, they're
he
not
has a
being
Yasha.
as aggressive as I would expect from Unknown, considering the advantage they already got. I mean, you got item buildups now. They got Orchid and BKB on both Storm and Quap. I mean, no BKB on Storm, but a Bloodstone.
Yep.
I mean, let's get some charges on the Bloodstone.
Ember can't, like, not only is he slow and lacks the mobility, he's just not safe anywhere he goes.
I think they should just try to pick on the Ember.
Well, they were about to. Storm was ready to jump him in the trees. If he wants to go farm, he has to have a teammate with him because he has no solution for Orchid. So it's not only is he down, but coming back is
It's hard.
nigh impossible without a team
Yeah,
fight.
he has no battle fury. Like this game just seems really hard for Ember.
He's not going to come back by farming. He's going to come back if they win a big team fight.
Yeah, I think maybe he should just concentrate on like remnant stacking a vacuum and hoping that they kill everyone with the nice blast as well.
Yeah, it's not really something you concentrate on though. You just wait for the fight.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. You
I'm
just wander.
I'm
I'm just gonna
envisioning
sit
that-
here.
I see the triple remnant.
I'm not moving until I get this triple remnant.
I think that's how Smash likes to play as Ember.
Yeah.
Glimmer Cape on the Witch Doctor.
Unknown are getting
Definitely
items.
helps them a lot.
I mean, it seems like now they're going to wait till Quap gets her Agnums, and then they'll go
Yeah.
out and draw some blood.
I wish there was an easier way for them to secure Roshan. Then
Nope.
they could continue pressuring, but
They don't have a good.
they just
good
don't have a
Roshan.
very good Roshan lineup.
At the same time, they know that they know that the Wolves aren't farming particularly well. Like, they've hardly seen any heroes on the map.
God,
Smash is the only hero that's showing any indication of having items, so yeah, they probably could be a little more aggressive. Again, I think it's mainly just waiting for nighttime, though they do have a darkness in reserve if they need it. But now Night Stalker has eggs. That's the other really big item that we talked about. It's finally out. Would love to see a support by a gem or even one of the fat cores potentially. Then you go mine or you go ward sweep the map. That's how you secure Roshan. Is just depriving the Wolves of all their vision.
Take down all their vision.
It's time. They got the Ags. They got that Night Stalker.
I wonder what this Clockwork is doing.
Jumping in for Van. He's dead.
Oh,
okay,
God.
that was quick work.
He can't farm.
He actually can't do anything.
It's impossible. Even if they have someone behind him, who's
going
gonna save him?
Like, yeah, like it's not like they have like a Shadow Demon Disruption or like Dazzle. He just dies anyway.
Oh God, they got me Pastor now, and they're gonna bump him back. He's gonna be able to manta off the silence. Goes for a Requiem. It's pretty good damage, but not good enough. Hey, an Ice Blast does come in, however, and they might get Rio.
That's the perfect combo. He got a double Requiem on all like 4 heroes with an Ice Blast. They only kill one, who barely shatters.
Yeah.
Ouch. Now they didn't have the Darkseer there, but you know that's tough when you don't have your towers.
Wouldn't matter though. He gets in there. And
now you go Roche. That's how you Roches this lineup. You ward sweep ideally. They don't have the gem. Instead of ward sweeping, they just get a bunch of kills on cores and then they go.
I'm surprised by it. I'm very surprised at how this game ended up going, but Unknown are just playing their lineup extremely well.
I'm not. Had Wolves run this Ember Darkseer combo with the AA?
I think so.
They looked extremely unpolished with it. Compared to like how Cloud9 was running it. It's not even close. That's where I'm curious. Maybe they've seen it work and they've talked about it, but they haven't actually practiced it. I'm not sure. But it looks like they haven't practiced it.
Yeah, they really just beat the shit out of Smash at the start of this game. I mean, let's be honest here.
And Wolves didn't do a whole lot to help him, but
yeah,
they didn't have the best heroes to help him at the same time. Rubik's not really going to save him against a Night Stalker Quap rotation. And you don't have an Earthshaker type hero or like a Dazzle. So they didn't have much protection for Shadow Fiend, and they got punished.
The AA commitment was also a bit interesting. We've seen a lot of teams do the early AA, which I can understand, because that will dramatically like limit the hero pool for a lot of teams, you know, who like to go Huskar, who like to go Alchemist. Kind of just picked up in the middle, and he doesn't get to offer any additional disables, so that's why we're kind of seeing these heroes like your Queen of Pain and Storm just kind of do as they please. They're already very hard to hit with an Ice Blast, so it's a hard time for this portal AA.
And they got the gem. I'm liking Unknown's play. They're actually being quite patient, all things considered. But this is the time when you want to start to strike. You're closing in on the what could be an Orchid or Lincoln. Now they exactly at that moment they jump in. Greg's not even watching the game.
What is there to see?
Wolves are getting massacred. He's busy texting.
Anybody who can't watch a PG-13 movie shouldn't be watching
that's
this.
the Ice Blast, the Dream Blast, the perfect combo. But BKBs might be enough to turn this around. 3 dead, but Storm's still alive. Round 2, let's go, baby. 12 Bloodstone charges. And you thought Storm got nerfed. Well, when he gets this many items...
Does not really matter.
Doesn't matter.
To answer your question, they have not played anything that even resembles this lineup.
I'm sorry, Greg. You were actually checking Dota buff. I apologize.
Fuck you, LD.
Jeez.
Yeah, they played it. Looks like I went back like 10 games and there's 1 Ember game, and it does not have a Darkseer.
You know they're far ahead when they actually hit the perfect combo. They got everything off there. The Requiem, the back, about 4 or 5 hero Ice Blast. But Aegis and BKB are the counter to that. And they still have quite high levels of BKB duration on the Quap. Actually, now down to 7 seconds.
That's cute. You gonna stop
he's
Storm
the gem
from
carrier.
doing what he wants?
Needs to make sure he doesn't get picked off. And they really want to chase him.
What are they
Drum
gonna do?
charge?
No, he's gone. It's 13 charges
They have like
now.
no catch.
He's got too much mana regen. I don't think they would have caught him anyway.
Well,
It's okay. Ember goes. Well, he'll just get a Hex and an Abyssal Blade.
first you gotta
Right
get a
after,
Manta.
right after he gets his Manta.
Get rid of that silence.
Oh my god, what is this? A 40-minute Manta style?
Just have Darkseer get a Lotus Orb.
Man, when Ember is bad, he just looks so horrible. Like when he has a bad game, it feels like he does nothing.
Didn't you say that Smash is normally the Ember player as well for Wolves?
Yeah, we know Smash for being a big Ember player, but
Is his Ember good? I haven't seen it before.
I mean, for me to remember, Smash is really good Ember.
Oh, that's
He had to be
surge.
pretty
You're not
good at
going
some
anywhere.
point.
Thanks for the Bloodstone charge.
Piles on top. Very nice.
Love it. 14 Bloodstone charges.
Yeah, and when it's like when you start getting up to like 17, 18, 19 charges, that it really feels like you can never stop the storm from just zipping around the entire fight. And already it kind of feels like
The worst
that.
is...
God!
They forced that initiation, and he's dead.
That was just cruel.
That's the
That's
power
just so cruel.
of the Night Stalker.
Yeah, he felt that one.
That's like, I even feel bad having to do that.
It's like
to
taking
you.
a kid and shoving his head in the toilet.
Swirly
I'm
and
sorry, I
take
was
your
abused.
candy. God, it's getting dark.
Game 1 was a spanking. Game 2 is a spanking
Also
the
a
other way. The
spanking.
reverse spank. I wish there was a gif of that. Like someone's getting spanked and somehow they like quickly flip it around and start spanking.
I'm sure there's some videos out on the internet you can see of that.
This is looking good for Unknown at this point. Ember can't leave the base, really. I mean, we've seen what happens when he tries.
Yep.
There's likely a Scythe any moment now on the Storm. If
Yep.
he wants to be safe, he could go to Lincoln's, but really, I think you just go Scythe here.
Yeah, I think you're so far ahead.
He can solo kill any hero.
Literally
at this point.
anyone.
Even Smash, because he could just Scythe them before he could BKB.
Oh, they're gonna mow down this tower with pretty much no opposition. They can't even pretend to defend this because the Night Stalker can see so far into the base. Like
Surprise Plop's
so
not being
ridiculous.
able to-
That was a sick swag play.
the force them out.
I want a little highlight of that.
God.
Hello.
Sword actually just zapped from top to bottom.
Unfortunately,
no
didn't
mana.
hit him with the initial jump, but
he's
still
gonna
may kill him
see-
anyway. Just machine gunning remnants and overloads at Van, who doesn't have a remnant up to jump to.
Oh my.
Van,
He's dead.
come on!
Oh my God!
How does he not have a
doing?
remnant up? That's
He's given up, dude.
that's.
Van has given up on this game.
I want to know how many Ember games Van has played.
Oh shit, he's getting called out now.
I'm just curious. Maybe he's just tilting with the way the game's going, but this is ugly.
Is it on him or is it just
No,
the fact
no.
because
No.
like he can't do
It's not
much,
just on him,
you know?
because to me the whole team did not execute the idea of the strategy, which is abusing the Ion Shell and the Ember as well as the Ice Blast follow-up and the mobility of the Ember when he gets BOTs. We didn't see any of
I
that.
don't know. To me, this more feels like they. Oh God.
The Dream Fight, is it going to happen? Ice
Hey,
Blast
that
again,
was
a good
pretty
connection,
good.
but Quap just stands there and calmly muscles down the remaining lingering heroes on the way out. Ember trying to tickle. That's about all he can do right now.
But it also felt like their lineup didn't have much to support Smash. They were able to easily get away with just beating the hell out of him. Was there a way
and
they
that's,
could have
the,
prevented
and that's
that?
the other thing is the Shadow Fiend didn't have help. I agree with you guys. I don't think the Rubik was the right support this game. But I also think there were still opportunities where they could have gotten a lot done if with the Darkseer Ember, like around that. Like,
Yeah.
you remember the first few times they fought, like, Darkseer would die bottom, and then Ember TP's in. He even had Flame Guard on cooldown, diving the jungle a bunch, and here comes the next in what could be the last fight. Big ball in from the Storm. 20 Bloodstone charges, and counting.
To answer your question, he has played exactly 2 games on Ember, including this one,
And Smash, I guess, has played a bunch,
and he has
right?
lost both. Yeah, I'm checking Smash
I don't know
right
how many times this patch. And
Yeah,
that's
I don't know
the
about this
game.
patch. That was just in total.
We're going to a game 3. Oh yeah.
All right.
That's not to say his Ember play wasn't also an issue.
You gotta remember also the Darkseer was like rotating into fights.
I think honestly
Early.
a huge problem was A, the Darkseer rotating into those early fights, not getting levels in vacuum, not farming, and B, I swear to God, the Ember not going bots.
If he comes to fights, it needs to be with the Ember. When Flame Guard's ready, he has mana and health, and you have to Ion Shield the Ember. Like,
Because if not, you're better off just like
yeah.
just farming.
Well, in Game 1, Unknown got smashed, and in Game 2, the Elite Wolves took a big old bite.
Yeah, Smash has 35 games on Ember.
Okay, so that's probably the other issue here,
Yeah,
is just the lack of comfort for Van, but
absolutely. I
give
mean,
Unknown credit. They played exceptionally well after
Yeah,
getting
they definitely
slaughtered in Game 1.
They definitely did.
And they did it with swag, Greg. The triple Shadow Strike build on the Queen of Pain, the Null Talisman taunt dropping,
That really
not
can't be the
not
build.
dropping your Null Tally when you use bottle charges right after that.
Oh.
It works.
That's life.
Got to be in Smash's head now.
Look forward to seeing that in my pubs.
I want to see a highlight reel of this guy, the Swag Master.
I want to see what he. If this is what he does in officials, imagine what his pub games look like.
I want him at the summit now. I want him here, even if he doesn't speak good English. We'll get a translator and just let him
Let him go
Let him
ham.
go.
He'll be like every other cool kid pup star to come here and be awkward and say nothing. So
All right. Well, I guess we're gonna have to wait. We'll have to wait. For now, they've got a bigger objective here, and that's getting to Frankfurt.
yes.
Cool. Well, game 3 will be coming up in just a couple minutes. Stick around, and we'll happily bring you that game.